Women in Sport Expo, what is it? It is an event for women to recognise strength. The aim is to make strong women visible, to inspire the next generation of strong women. Weightlifting is a sport for all, irrespective of gender, age, body type or size. It makes not just strong bodies, but strong minds. We want to share this message by making the sport more visible to the women in Ireland. Thank you.
Power snatch. The power snatch is a variation of the snatch in which the athlete lifts the barbell from ground to overhead in one continuous accelerated movement. The lift is deemed power when the athlete receives the bar in a squat above parallel. Snatch. In the snatch, the athlete lifts the barbell from the ground to overhead in one continuous accelerated movement and receives the barbell in a full squat.
Which two? Yeah? Good. Make sure I'm recording this. Hang on, I'll do it here. Right. Just keep that going. That's good.
Yeah, but
big wide one. Keep pushing up on the bar. Keep it strong.
I'm Lucy Moore. I'm 65 and I'm probably the oldest female member of Weightlifting Ireland.
Yeah.
What's important about being strong for women particularly?
Well, Phil, I think at our age,
Sure, yeah, we're both
and
the same.
indeed for anyone in peri or postmenopausal, it is so important to maintain bone density and muscle mass, and I think weightlifting is probably one of the best ways that you can do that. So I think for general health, it's really important for our age group. It's also hugely enjoyable, and it's a great sort of team thing as well.
Sure. What are your aspirations for the future then?
Well, really to keep going for as long as I can. I mean, I'm 65 now. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep weightlifting. And I suppose none of us know what's around the corner.
True.
Because within the last 5 years, I've had both my hips replaced, and I really didn't see that coming.
Sure.
And
To still be lifting with new hips is brilliant.
yeah, and that's
Sure.
and that has been really important part of my recovery. So I think just to keep going for as long as I can, to keep enjoying it, and to keep coaching in the area, particularly applying what I've learned in weightlifting to my coaching in athletics.
And it sounds like, you know, the other sports you have outside of weighting was the athletics to begin with, so they do complement each other very well. Okay, thank you very much, Lucy, for sharing with us.
My name is Aoife Moore, I'm 19 years old and I'm from Dublin.
Can you tell me, how did you get involved in weightlifting and when did you start?
Yeah, so I started when I was quite young actually. I started with CrossFit when I was 14 years old. My mom started CrossFit and I was like obsessed with her at the time, so
Right.
I just wanted to follow her in her footsteps and kind of like just join in with her. So I actually started because my mom started.
So she was a strong mom to be a good role model.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you started weightlifting then. Did you change from CrossFit or did you cross to weightlifting directly then, or specifically?
Yeah, when I found out that you could do like just the weightlifting part and not have to do any of the cardio stuff, I was like sold on the idea. So
Sure.
just before the pandemic, I had started off in capital strength and I was just doing that kind of part-time, half CrossFit, half weightlifting. and then like during COVID and everything, as soon as I got back, and I started college as well at the time, and it suited my schedule so much more, and I really enjoyed it, so
Okay.
went straight into that.
And when did you start competing in weightlifting then, or have you competed?
Yeah, I started competing like almost straight away. One of the main reasons I actually went up to capital strength full time was I wanted to get into the competitive side of it.
Okay.
I'm a very competitive person by nature, so that was one of the benefits to me. But yeah, I started. I think I started competing when I was around like I had the 2 years with lockdown,
Okay.
so
There wasn't much happening during
yeah,
those 2
yeah.
years, just
So
training.
I lost my youth years with that, but I went straight into competing as a junior as soon as like competitions came back.
Okay. And what has been your greatest achievement so far then in the sport?
I think my greatest achievement was probably getting to go and compete at the Celtic Nations,
Okay.
and I got to represent Ireland doing that. So,
When was that? Was that this year?
Yeah, it was this year.
Where was it on?
It was down in Scotland in
Okay,
Dundee.
in Dundee, okay.
So the journey down was really fun. Getting to like compete with people who are around my age and all kind of had the same goals and aspirations was really good and
And
inspiring.
how many were on the Irish team?
Oh Jesus, I wouldn't know. It was a good few of us. I think there was 9 of us altogether.
Okay.
9 or 12.
Very good. And you did well?
Yeah,
Very
I was
good,
really
very
happy with my
good.
performance.
Okay. And outside of weightlifting then, what else, what other sports or what other things do you do? You're in college, you said now, so what are you're studying?
I'm studying sports management and coaching,
Okay.
so it kind of ties in really well.
Sure.
Yeah, I was a very sporty person. I really like having it as part of my lifestyle, so I'm doing a lot of coaching at the moment, coaching loads of different things. It's my part-time
Coaching
job
practice.
as well. Yeah,
Right, okay.
and hopefully I'll get into a bit of coaching with weightlifting soon as well.
And where are you on that, in your course? How many more years have you to do? Or?
I'm in my 3rd year,
Okay,
so
so
I have another year
another
left. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment, and it's
Good.
great getting to like bring it into my sport as well as like
Sure.
my lifestyle.
Yeah, because there's a lot of coaching involved in weightlifting, isn't there? It's quite
Yeah,
a technical
yeah,
sport.
yeah.
Tell me then, what are your aspirations for the sport in the future? What do you hope to achieve?
God, I have loads.
Okay, share them
So
with
I think maybe some short-term goals would be just continuing to get strong, get a few more PBs if possible, and then maybe some long-term goals would be to continue to like do international competitions, maybe get to represent Ireland a few more times. Euros is definitely something that I'd be looking to do in the future.
Okay. Why do you think being strong as a woman is important?
I think it's really important just kind of to break those boundaries and those stereotypes. So growing up, I wouldn't have known like really any kind of female athletes, or I never ever would have thought of like doing weightlifting or anything like that. Like I wasn't sporty before I started this, so just being able to kind of be that role model and inspire other people like my mom inspired me is like really important. So being able to be strong for other girls is really important to me.
And does it give you confidence?
Yes, it definitely gives me confidence.
Okay.
I'm a completely different person now since I've started.
So the guys know not to take you on because you're...
No, definitely not.
position and then stand tall. Bars back to shoulder, chest up and drop into the snatch balance. Hold that position, stand up tall. We're going to keep the brush handle overhead and we're going to do 2 overhead squats. So big breath in, core tight, into your full receiving position. Go as low as you can. Hold it and then up. And again, 1 more squat. There we go. Ease pacing. Sure? Yeah. Okay. Brush handles to the hips. And chest up, back straight. We're going to dip and catch. Stand up tall. Lower back. Chest up, dip and catch. Shoulders. Chest up and drop. Position. Pump you down there. Stand up. And we're going to keep going up, right overhead. Deep breath in. And squat. And stand up tall. And 1 more. Squat. Stand up tall.
Joey's like, this is not Alright, are you ready? Okay, so bar hips, left side, dip, tap. And then once we're gonna do it together. Okay, so just relax for a second. The exercise will be 2 hand muscle snatches, then 2 behind the neck snatch, the push press, and then 2 overhead squats. So 2 of each. We just show it first. So yeah, that's it. You can stand a little narrower, the feet, the shoulders back. We're gonna hinge. Just we hold it at the knee for a second. Okay, here I want you to focus on engaging your lats and pulling your shoulders back. Okay, your chest is slightly over the bar. Okay, now from here we're gonna drive the bar up overhead. Okay, you saw the legs are staying nice and locked, you're not going under, that would be a flower snatch. Back to the hips, shoulders back and down, hinge. Okay, again, squeezing the lats, putting the shoulders back, chest is still staying over the bar, and let's drive the bar up. Super. Now we keep it there, bring it back to the shoulders. Okay, we're gonna dip and then press it overhead. Dip and press. Nice. Back to the shoulders. Again, chest up. Dip and press. Super. We keep it there. Stand to your squat stance. Go down, up. And one more down. And then up. Super. And relax. Okay, so the first round we're gonna again work together. Now, there's loads of you. Platform is big enough. There should be 2 bars on each platform, so I want 2 people on each platform. Billy will go to the middle. Billy will do it with you guys. Okay? So 2 of you, the bravest 2, grab the bar, stand behind each other.
It's okay. There's a technique crack. Okay. Here, I'll take that. I brought my own technique with me because I'm lightweight.
Okay. In the next one there, 3 people will work. Okay, Billy, let's grab the bar. Okay, everyone, pull your shoulders back, chest up. Okay, when we hinge, I want you to pause at the knees. So hinge, hold it there. Okay, squeeze your legs, head up equal. That's it. Okay, I want you to feel the lats, engage them. I feel the weight that is at the midpoint. Okay, now drag the bar up. Don't bend your legs. Okay, back to the hips. Okay, now shoulders back and down, hinge. Stand a bit narrower, feel. That's it. And drag the bar up. Good there. Back to your shoulders. Okay, now shoulders back. Feel that your weight is on your heels. Okay. That's it. And then press the bar up. Let's go. Back to your shoulders. Okay, chest up again. Shoulders back. Dip and press. Keep it there, stand to your squat pins. Okay, and let's go down, nice and slow, and up. Okay, we do one more down, chest up, and up. Super job, down and relax. Wow, and the other 2 people. You're 5 people, you're 3 people.
You don't need to change right.
I'm Angela Roach.
Yep. That's it.
I'm 42. I'm from Blanchardstown.
So, Angela, thanks so much for coming and talking with us this morning. Now, I'm curious, you're in your 40s. How did you get into Olympic weightlifting?
I first joined the CrossFit gym. Okay. I remember walking in and just to do CrossFit and seeing a weightlifting class going on within it. Didn't really know anything about it at the time. And I just loved it, mostly the snatch. When I seen people at the time just snatching, I just thought it was just amazing looking at them.
And was there anyone in particular that sort of inspired you to kind of either get going or keep going in weightlifting?
Yeah, well, probably like at the time in the gym, and like she doesn't even really weightlift now, but there was a girl in our gym, and she just looked amazing doing it. We've met so many friends through weightlifting now, like yes. So like even the new crew like that were with, even the group we went to Poland with, the difference in just getting to know people like who actually love doing the same thing you do, like yeah,
it's a whole new sort of world of meeting people as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So there is quite a social aspect to it, isn't there?
It's huge, it's huge, like socially and mentally it's huge, you know.
So Angela, in the 7 or 8 years, what's kind of your proudest moment?
I kind of have 2. The first one, I'd been trying for a long time to qualify for national seniors, and I just couldn't get that number, and I wanted a certain number for my snatch, and probably when I hit that in a competition and I got my total for senior nationals, I just was over the moon, like I really was, like I am so happy. And then this year I travelled to Poland and went to European Masters. And that was
that's a big step
that
up,
was
isn't
really
it?
Good. Yeah, it was a really good feeling just to go and to tell people you're going, and people couldn't believe it, like, you know, that you're going and what you're doing, like, you know.
Representing Ireland.
Yeah, definitely.
And was it an enjoyable experience?
It was, I loved it now, I have to say. And like that, got to meet so many new people, and we just had a great few days watching everybody else lift as well. It's just brilliant, like, you know. It's about you going to enjoy you lifting, but also going to see what everybody else can do and other people. Like even in the hotel we were staying in, we met, you know, all different people from different countries who were over lifting, and you'd be chatting to them and who they're over with, and it was just brilliant. It was a great experience, you know.
And what does being strong mean to you, Angela? Why might that be important?
Yeah, I think that this is a weird question, because I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm really strong, but I just think I do it because I love it. You know, I feel strong while I'm lifting, and mentally it makes me feel really good. Like I wake up in the morning thinking, oh, how am I going to get to go to training today? You know, and it's I think it's mentally, it's really good for you, like not just physically, you know. That's one of the biggest parts of it, I think, you know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are your aspirations for yourself in the sport?
To get stronger, definitely. Like I have numbers in my head all the time that I want to go for, and also then different competitions. For next year, like I would like to do Europeans again next year.
And it's in Ireland.
It's in Ireland,
Yeah.
which is brilliant. I think it's going to be
Waterford.
a huge interest in it next year, and get involved probably in weightlifting Ireland. This is probably the first time in the last year that I've really gotten, you know, to know people from weightlifting Ireland. I never had like any real connection with anybody, or you know, just coaches and stuff like that. So,
And what does being strong mean to you, Angela? Why might that be important
yeah, I
in
think
your
that
life?
this is a weird question because
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm really strong, but I just think I do it because I love it. You know, I feel strong while I'm lifting, and mentally it makes me feel really good. Like I wake up in the morning thinking, oh, how am I going to get to go to training today? You know, and I think it's mentally, it's really good for you, like not just physically, you know. That's one of the biggest parts of it, I think, you know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
can generally always PB that with clean. Yeah. Like I just have no energy. Yeah.
So I don't know what you try. It was actually brilliant to do the cast it up. Would you do more? Try to that's
I'm going online.
Yeah.
Hi. What's your name, please?
Katrina Mills.
You're very welcome. Do you mind if I ask you your age?
39.
39. And where are you from?
Ashburn.
So tell me, when did you get into weightlifting and what kind of inspired you to take up that sport?
So about 9 years ago, I started doing CrossFit, and there was obviously barbell movements and there was bodyweight movements, and I didn't really like the bodyweight movements, but I quite liked the barbell movements, picking up heavy things and dropping them. So that's how I got into weightlifting.
That's okay. So you're strong from the get-go.
Yeah.
So what has been your proudest achievement so far in the sport of weightlifting?
I'll tell you when it happens.
Come on. I'm sure you've had some.
Well, I got a bronze medal at the European Masters in August, so that was good.
That was excellent, yeah. So you're very happy about that?
Yeah. Why do I think women being strong is important? Well, it's good for your health, you know. It's kind of an empowering thing to be strong, to feel good about yourself.
Okay. Give you confidence?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do outside of weightlifting then? Are you interested, apart from the CrossFit, other sports, or what's your life like? What kind of work do you do?
So I work as a business analyst for AXA Insurance.
Okay.
So just mainly, working at a desk at a computer, kind of 9 to 5. But I do CrossFit and weightlifting outside of that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time out to come today, Katrina, to talk to us with this project. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Cheers.
Pressure. Slow. At least 2 more sets in each shower. And I feel like I've done at least 3.
with the primers. Hopefully everyone is nice and warm now. I'm sure you are. After this bit, I want everyone to strip the bar down to empty bar, and after that, do one set of the empty bar, and we don't beat that. 2 sets of triples and 2 sets of doubles, and then you'll have like 5 to 8 sets of singles. Okay, as I mentioned before, it's not a maxed session. You can stay like this. That's 5 to 8 sets of singles. That could easily be the same weight or very, very similar weight. You don't have to go heavy, especially it's Sunday, so you all train probably all week. If you feel like you're in good shape, you can go up to 85%, which I would say definitely have it in the age that you can aim for. You okay with that? Questions? So 1 set of empty bar, then 2 sets of triples, that can be increasing, 2 sets of doubles, that can be increasing, and then 5 to 8 sets of singles, where you can go the same way, increasing, whatever you prefer. Okay? Now, on this part, I would say 1 athlete at a time, because it's more like the jumping, so we don't want you to get injured. So 1 person at a time, we'll keep changing each other. I don't want to see an empty platform. The other 3 can talk. Is that fine? Super. Let's go. Stick the bar.
Right now.
Hello, can you tell me your name?
Darcy, yeah.
Darcy. And what age are you, Darcy?
Well, I just turned 12 last week.
12 last week, goodness. And are you still in primary school?
No.
No, secondary school now. Yeah, wow, okay. And what do your friends think about you doing weightlifting?
Well, they're always just like, whoa, you're super strong and stuff.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit about what you do outside of weightlifting.
Well, in school, I do hockey, netball, and athletics, but outside of school, I do tumbling.
Right, wow, okay. And I think it's a great idea to do lots of different sports when you're younger. Yeah. Have you a favourite at the moment?
Well, probably either weightlifting or hockey.
Or hockey. And what position do you play in at hockey?
Well, it kind of like mixes round, so we get to know which one we'd be better at.
Oh, that's a great idea. So you're just sort of finding out at the moment where you might be best suited. Super. And what other things do you like to do outside of school and sport?
Well, I like drawing.
Yeah.
And like playing with my dog.
Yeah, super. Okay. Darcy, thank you so much for coming down all the way from Northern Ireland to talk to us today. And I hope you will be inspirational to other 12-year-old girls who want to start a sport like weightlifting. Thank you so much. Right, I'm just going to give everybody a little bit of an introduction to some of the athletes that are lifting and tell you a little bit more about them and their lives outside of lifting. So over here we have Alva Mulvihill, and Alva's 23 and her Scottish best is 71 kgs, which is a lot of weight. She's competed internationally for Ireland on several occasions, most recently at the European Under-23 Championships. Now, as well as being a really high-level lifter, Alva is a qualified physiotherapist, and she's just recently started her first job as a physiotherapist down in Cork. She played a lot of Gaelic football for Westmeath and has come right up through the underage ranks there, but now we're delighted to say she's focusing more on weightlifting. The next person we're going to have a look at is Gillian Barry, and Gillian is one of our top weightlifters in Ireland at the moment, and she has competed in the junior and under-23 Europeans and in senior Europeans. Recently she came 4th in the under-23s, and that's the highest place by any athlete in a major games. Now, Gillian is a radiographer and has a demanding job up in Dublin in the Mater Hospital. She actually wanted to do gymnastics first of all, but it was a long wait to get on the waiting list, so she had to go at weightlifting, and we're delighted to say that's the sport she's stuck with. Now, she is also an excellent GAA footballer, ladies footballer, and has reached a very high level in that sport as well. She's two big brothers and a sister, and she gets a chance to visit them a lot because they live abroad, and that's also one of the things that she really likes to do. And her aim is to get into the A group in the Senior European Championships, and that means that she would be among the very top lifters in Europe. There would normally be maybe 2 or 3 different groups, and the A group would have the tops of 8 or 10 lifters. The next athlete we're going to introduce you to is Hannah Crimble. Hannah's from Northern Ireland, and initially she was a gymnast and competed at a high level in gymnastics, but we're delighted to say she's now turned her attention to Olympic weightlifting, and her most recent achievement was to represent Northern Ireland in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Now, outside of weightlifting, Hannah has a very busy life because she's a cancer nurse in Belfast. Very demanding job. She likes to spend time outside of that with her dog and 3 cats, and loves travelling. Most recently, Greece has been her favourite place to visit. The next athlete I want to introduce you to is Joyce O'Reilly. Now, not only is Joyce a lifter, but she is a female coach trying to grow the sport in areas as well as athletes who want them to be coaches and technical officials. So Joyce is a QC analyst, which I said quality control, but it's actually quality compliance, Joyce tells me. She loves drawing, and she has 3 cats, and she's been very involved in weightlifting from a number of different perspectives. Try Neil. I want to introduce you to is Phil Brown. Phil is 63, and as you can see, hefts a fair amount of weight, and I bet there aren't too many 63-year-olds out there that can lift what Phil's lifted. She's already medalled in the European Masters Championships, and she's heading off to Orlando within the next week to compete in the World Masters Championships. Phil is a cancer survivor, and she now spends a lot of time. She's just recently retired from over 40 years in the civil service, and is giving more time to weightlifting and her now 2 grandchildren. At the other end of the age range, I'd like to introduce you to Darcy Hewitt. Darcy is just 12 years of age, and she's started off in gymnastics, and she's now involved in tumbling, international tumbling at a high level. So we're wondering, is she going to finish one of her lifts later on and then do a lovely back flip for us on the platform like we see some of the senior athletes do? Darcy tells me she has a dog called Piper and loves spending time with Piper, and that she's off to Canada for Christmas, and she's very excited about that. Next, also at the junior end of the age range, we have Anna McLarnon. Anna is Claire McLarnon's daughter, and you've seen Claire already demonstrating with the coaching. And Anna is the current British under-12 champion and the Irish under-13 champion. And her mum tells me that she's very sociable and loves to spend time with her friends, and she's tried lots of different other sports, but weightlifting is the one that she's stuck with. What about this
Right there,
one?
Victoria. That's it.
Over here we have Laura Walsh, and Laura's 25 and her best competition snatch is 45. She's recently competed in the Ulster Open, and her big aim at the moment is to get the qualifying standard for nationals. She's got a degree in statistics, and she works for a sports nutrition company and also loves cats. We've got quite a few cat lovers here today. Now the next athlete we have and Niamh is very well known to most people in weightlifting because Niamh commentates, does the timing and works the desk at most of the competitions. And they run a lot smoother when Niamh is there on the scoreboard. Now Niamh also lifts and she coaches her boyfriend Keith in competitions anyway. And she's a very important cog in the wheel. She's 22 and tells us she was born on a leap day, is very superstitious, and her favourite food is ketchup and toast. So there you go, that's Niamh. The next athlete I want to introduce you to is Leanne Vaughan. Now, Leanne is 35 and has just entered the Masters age group. And Masters is for athletes over 35, and every 5 years you go up into a new category. Now, Leanne owns a gym and is a coach, and not only that, but she has 5 children, so I don't know how she finds time to do any of this. And she's very into Muay Thai because most of her kids are doing Muay Thai as well. This is Carla Kelly, and Carla is a primary school teacher. And as well as learning Olympic weightlifting, Carla's been working really hard to improve her gymnastic skills. And I can vouch for that because I'm on her social media. And she's made great progress over the last few years.
My name's Hannah Crimble. I've just turned 27. I'm from Northern Ireland, Belfast.
So Hannah, tell me, what brought you into weightlifting?
I kind of fell into the sport of weightlifting. I was a gymnast for 10 years, so I did that most of my childhood, early teenage years, and then just kind of fell out of love with the sport and wasn't really doing anything for a while. And then it was when CrossFit was kind of becoming a thing, so I did CrossFit for a few months, and it was actually a girl I did CrossFit with wanted to go to a weightlifting gym, which didn't want to go on her own. So I said I would go with her for just her first day, and then we both ended up staying for years after that, and that's how I got into weightlifting.
Okay. What is your proudest moment so far in the weightlifting?
There's been a few, but I think maybe just recently there I competed at the Commonwealth Games for Northern Ireland, which was just an experience like no other I've experienced ever. It was incredible, just from start to finish. The athletes' village, the competition, just everything was amazing.
And tell me, Hannah, what are your aspirations in weightlifting for the future for yourself?
Just to keep gaining international experience representing Ireland, and obviously a big one is to try and qualify for the Olympics, but we'll see what happens.
Tell me a bit about your life outside of weightlifting.
So I'm a nurse in the Belfast Trust. I'm currently working in the cancer centre. Right. So that's what I do outside of my training.
And does that require a lot of shift work and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so you'll work a mixture of 12-hour shifts, 6 to 7-hour shifts, and night shifts as well.
Yeah. And that doesn't sound to me to be ideal for training.
No, it's definitely not ideal, but you make it work. You know, when you want something bad enough, you find your ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's kind of helped you?
Well, swapping my training has helped a lot. I think I was trying to do too much training and too much work all at the same time, and I was just hitting burnout quite quickly. So I've been able to kind of balance that a wee bit more. I did take a step back from the work for a while,
yes,
and kind of like figured that out, and now I've just recently went back there to shift work, but I think I'm going to manage it a lot better this time.
And I suppose what a lot of people don't realise is that even our top international weightlifters are not funded.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have to have
You do have to work.
Yeah, you do have to work. And it's just trying, as you say, trying to make that balance work for you.
Yep.
Yeah. And what do your friends and family think about you doing weightlifting?
They think it's quite cool, actually. I've never really asked them. It's not something we speak about that often, but they're supportive. A lot of my friends and family came to watch at the Commonwealth there, and they all seemed quite into it. So
Great. Well, listen, thank you so much for
Thank
taking
you.
time out of your busy schedule to come down to Dublin and help us with our Women in Sport project.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
The next lifter I'd like you to introduce you to is Sorcha Brady. Sorcha is 18 and she has just started college. And she is in DCU at the moment, and she's doing actuarial maths, which she's loving. Sorcha is a very gifted gymnast and singer and has always had lead roles in all of her school musicals, so she's a very multi-talented athlete. She's represented Ireland on 3 occasions at the Celtic International, and her aim is to keep improving. This is Joe O'Sullivan, just finishing lifting there. And Joe's 32 with a PB of 70 kgs. And she comes from a multi-sport background, starting out in athletics, where she's got medals in race walking, and then progressing to CrossFit. She also speaks 5 languages. So again, as most of our lifters are, is multi-talented. The next lifter I'd like to introduce you to is Katrina Mills. Katrina is 39 and a master's lifter, and her best competitive snatch is 65 kgs. She has competed internationally at the Women's Grand Prix and also at the European Masters this year in Poland. And her aim is to compete at World Masters in 2023. Outside of lifting, Katrina is a business analyst, and she loves to travel, especially when she can combine her weightlifting and her CrossFit competitions with her travel. The next lifter I'd like to introduce you to is Aoife O'Moore. Aoife is 19 and she is studying business and sports management in college. I think she's in 3rd year now. She has competed internationally for Ireland in the Celtic Games, and her aim is to keep improving and hopefully to get to European standard. Outside of weightlifting and full-time studying, Aoife teaches diving and athletics as well as lifting in the National Institute, National Arena, and in the National Aquatic Centre. So again, Aoife is a very busy young lady. Now we've missed Lauren. As you can see, Maria is just chalking up, and that's something that athletes do, especially as the lifts go a bit higher, to give them their optimum grip on the bar. Maria is 21 years of age, and her best competitive snatch is 61 kgs. She competed internationally at the Welsh Summer Open this year in 2022. And her big aim in the sport is to do some more international competitions over the next while. Outside of weightlifting, she studies pharmaceutical chemistry in the University of Limerick. She plays the piano and is very keen to say that Sligo is her favourite county. So that's Maria. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Sharon McGee. Now, Sharon is also a Masters lifter in the W40 age group, and she has recently competed in the European Masters Championships and also the Women's Grand Prix, which she found a fantastic experience. In the future, she'd like to continue to lift in the Europeans and the Masters. She's a mum of 2 boys and works in IT security, and also does rollerblading. So that is Sharon. Next, we have Lauren Finn. Lauren is one of our top junior lifters. She's just 16 and she has already snatched 65 kgs in competition. And she's been in 2 internationals this year. And her aspirations for the future were very clear. She wants to lift for Ireland in the Olympic Games. Outside of the sport, she's obviously busy with school. She loves reading, spending time with her friends, and listening to music and going to gigs. So that's Lauren, and she's a name to watch for the future. Now, the next lifter we're going to talk about is Angela Roach. Angela's 42 and she's a Masters athlete in the W40 age group. And her favourite lifting experience to date has been competing in the European Masters Championships in Poland. Her aim is to continue to improve her technique and to be able to get some more weight from the bar. And we can see Beata giving her some top coaching tips there. She's the mammy of 3 children, aged 14, 11 and 8. And her favourite thing to do outside of lifting is going on sun holidays. And her favourite food, she tells me, is Nutella. And I'm sure there's lots of people who'd agree with you on that one. Now, Victoria. Victoria, give me 2 seconds till I find your bio, okay? Yeah. The next lifter I'd like to introduce you to is Victoria Hayes. Victoria is 27 and her best competition snatch is 52. And she competed in the Women's Grand Prix in Luxembourg in 2022. And her aspiration is to qualify for nationals next year. She's got 3 dogs, lives in Dublin, and another big achievement is hiking the Inca Trail. So Victoria is also another of our lifters who loves to travel. Next, we have Mary Grace Gerina. And Mary Grace lifted this year in the Women's Grand Prix. And again, her big aim is to get the qualifying standard for nationals, which is always quite a tough thing. Outside of weightlifting, Mary Grace is a structural engineer. And weightlifting gives her a good break from what's kind of a tough job. She tells me she really loves traveling. And she's already been to a number of different places with her weightlifting, both to support other athletes and for her own achievements. The next weightlifter I'd like to introduce you to is a multi-sport talented lady of 57, and it's Priscilla O'Sullivan, and we've already seen her daughter Jo. Now, Priscilla's best snatch in competition is 40 kgs, but the way her training's going at the moment, that is going to be a figure of the past very soon. She started out lifting in the garden. She is a big CrossFit athlete. And I can also say, having competed with her, she is a very talented masters weightlifter who has competed internationally in European and World Championships in the throwing events. And she is also someone who's had a lot of surgery done on one of her arms and has had to take breaks of several months in between bouts of lifting. And we are delighted to see her back on the competition stage in 2022. Our next lifter is Laura Walsh. Laura is 25 and her best competition snatch is 45 kgs. Her favourite lifting experience was the recent Ulster Open, and she hopes again to get the qualifying standard for nationals very soon. Laura has a degree in statistics and she works for a sports nutrition company. And like a number of her other competitors, outside of lifting and her work, she spends a lot of time with her cats. So that's Laura for you. Our next lifter is Una Houlihan, And Una, again, is one of our masters lifters. She is also mum to Sorka, who is one of our senior weightlifters. And Una is just getting back into the sport again this year, and we look forward to seeing a lot more of her on the Masters platforms in the year to come. As you probably know, Ireland is hosting the 2023 European Masters Championships right here in this venue in Waterford. And that has been a real motivator for a lot of our Masters athletes and lifters. And we look forward to seeing all our Masters competing here next year. And I think this is our final lifter to introduce to everyone. This is Marina Zaidman. Marina is from Israel, and she's been living in Ireland for a number of years now and has 2 boys. And this year she competed for Israel in the European Masters Championships. She's in the 50s age group, and I think you'll all agree she's doing really great. And if most 50-year-old women could lift what Marina's lifting, I'm sure they'd be very proud of themselves.
My name's Laura Walsh. I'm 25 years old and I'm from Kilkenny.
So Laura, tell me, how did you get involved with Olympic weightlifting?
Well, unlike a lot of people, I didn't come from CrossFit or gymnastics. I was going to the gym kind of just like you know, any kind of normal person, and I kind of got bored of that a bit quickly, and I wanted to find a kind of a sport that was, you know, strength based. I had done, you know, camogie and football as a teenager, but I never really took to field sports, and so this kind of, when I found out about Olympic weightlifting, it seemed right up my alley. You know, an individual sport that was just strength based seemed to suit me a lot better than a lot of sports that were kind of you know, encouraged when as a child or as a teenager. So I took to it. I found Sean and Beata on Instagram, DM'd them, and they got me set up on remote coaching. So I took it from there, and that was just about a year ago.
Right, so you're very new to the sport.
Yeah, just a year, just over a year.
And Laura, why was the strength part or being strong so important to you?
Well, being strong, it translates into a lot of other parts of your life. You know, when you're going for, you know, a new PB attempt, you know, you've never done that weight before. And I think, you know, since I've done weightlifting, I'm a lot more confident with doing, you know, other things like, you know, in work or, you know, other kind of experiences that I've never done before, with a lot more confidence. So, you know, that's kind of what being strong means to me.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Definitely at the beginning, it's a little bit hard to kind of take your place in the platform in the gym, find your 15 kg women's bar, and, you know, stand your place. Once you've been doing it a few weeks, a few months, you kind of just get used to it, and you're a little less self-conscious, a little more confident, and it's all about confidence. Once you're doing it with confidence, you look like you fit in, you do fit in, and people are admiring you at that stage, I'd say.
Absolutely.
So I'd encourage any girl or woman to take up strength training in any form, because you definitely belong there.
What are your aspirations or hopes for yourself in the weightlifting?
The big one is to qualify for senior nationals.
Yes.
Now that's maybe in the next, hopefully, 2 years or so. There'll be a lot of other smaller milestones on the way to hit that'll keep me going, but that's the big one I have in my sight right now. We'll see how the next year or so goes. Hopefully it continues. I continue to improve the way I have in the last year, and hopefully I'll see myself on that platform in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hi, can you tell us what your name is, please?
My name is Lauren.
Lauren?
Lauren Finn.
Lauren Finn. You're very welcome, Lauren. And what age are you, Lauren?
I'm 16.
16. And where are you from?
I'm from Galway. I started weightlifting about 2 years ago during lockdown. Originally, I wanted to do CrossFit and decided to get lessons on Olympic lifting, and then ended up just staying with it. It was just felt much better than CrossFit.
Okay. So what is your proudest achievement so far?
Probably being selected to represent Ireland at the European Weightlifting Union Cup. That was in July this year.
Right.
So it was an amazing experience to just represent your country and just.
And where was that on?
It was on in Leon in Spain.
Okay. And so you went with the team, obviously.
Yeah, I went with the team.
And how did you do in the competition?
I think I came 7th overall, which I was really happy with the achievement for my first competition, international.
Okay.
There was no stress, no pressure. Just go out and lift, and I made 6 of my lifts on the day.
Brilliant.
So I was really happy with that.
And 6 out of 6 on any day is really good, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That's always the goal.
It is, isn't it? What's important about being strong for you?
Just the ability to be able to move and get up and do things whatever I want. I can go walking or climbing, or I can play sports of anything really.
Yeah.
Just to be able to do everything.
Well, you're young enough to kind of have the whole world at your feet to
Exactly.
pick any sport you like. What do you do outside of weightlifting then?
So I'm in school full time, and I've got a part-time job as well.
Right, so
But,
busy.
yeah, busy. And I play basketball with school, just for a social thing with my friends. It's just nice to do.
Yeah. And do you think as the weightlifting benefited you in other sports?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Just more agility, and I'm stronger and just able to move faster.
More mobility, more flexibility.
Exactly.
Because weightlifting is not about strength either.
No, not all about strength.
Is there anything else that you think benefits you from the weightlifting, or in terms of friends that you've made maybe, or the social aspect of it?
Definitely friends I've made. This time last year I wasn't really competing and stuff, but now coming to competitions, being able to just talk to everyone and get to know everyone, and everyone's so different and comes from a different place.
Sure.
So it's nice to get to know everyone and all their different
And there's a good team spirit,
Yeah,
isn't there?
everyone supports everyone, and there's no rivalry or anything like that. It's just nice, friendly atmosphere.
Hi, my name is Phil Brown. I live in Kildare and I am 63 years of age.
So Phil, tell me, when did you start weightlifting?
Well, I started weightlifting in 2018, and the reason was because my son Sean, he's a weightlifter, and one day he was in the kitchen with me and he said to me, "Mum, if you don't start doing something to keep yourself strong, you won't be able to carry the shopping in from the car when you get older." So I thought, what the heck? And I was conscious of the fact that I was getting a bit flabby around the arms and stuff, and I didn't have much muscle tone, and I didn't really like that. I'd seen women that had lovely strong arms, and I thought, I wonder how could I do that? So he said, "Sure, why don't you try the weightlifting?" And I did. I joined the club with him, and within about 4 months I was in a competition which was unbelievable, because I could barely lift the 15 kg bar. But I medalled that day. I PB'd in the warm-up, and I got a snatch at, I think, 20 kgs, and I did 24 clean and jerk, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. So I had the bug at that point, and I was in. Yeah, no, I'd like to keep going. I'd like to stay strong and just keep competing if I'm able to. That's really what all I'm aspiring to.
And, you know, where do you see weightlifting fitting in for, I suppose, what I might call the more mature women like ourselves?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the main benefits for me, I have 2 grandchildren, and like when my first grandson was about 3, when I'd pick him up at the airport, I could carry him on my shoulders and he was about 10, 12 kilos. So for me, I think the strength is important when you've got grandchildren, lifting them up and, you know, being active, being able to just to do the day-to-day things where you need your muscles to work. Sitting up, you know, squatting is just a sitting motion. So if we do that, and plus it's bone density is so important as well. So if you're strong and you have a fall, you're less likely to break a bone. So for me, I think it's just being strong into my old age.
Okay, our first lifter is Ava at 55 kg. Ava?
And that's a good lift for Alva. So that's 55 kgs for Alva. And Alva has a PB of 71. And each of these lifters will get 3 attempts. So we'll be able to watch them 3 different times. And you can see we have a whole female bank of loaders here. And the loaders tend to be the hardest working people in a competition, and having good loaders really makes the competition go smoothly. Then you see we have a female referee here, Phil. She is also, Phil is a senior national technical official and referee, and she has refereed at the European Championships and is going to referee at the World Championships in 10 days' time in Orlando. Unfortunately, that's a no lift for Aoife. And Aoife has a PB of 64 kgs, and she will have another 2 lifts. And that's a really nice lift, really nice opening lift from Niamh. And her PB is 73, so she's a little way to go now in the next 2 lifts. And again, our loaders are tightening the bar up and getting it all ready for the next lifter. And that's a good lift for Gillian. Gillian's PB in the snatch is a ginormous 79 kgs. So she's got a little way to go yet today. And that's a good lift for Hannah. And again, that's a fairly light opener for Hannah because she has a PB of 83 kgs. So now we're on to the second lift, the second round of lifts for everybody. And that's a good lift for Aoife. Well done, Aoife. And that's a good lift for Alva. Well done, Alva. And that's a good lift for Niamh. Well done, Niamh. So that's 60 kgs on the bar, folks. Think how many bags of shopping that's the equivalent of. And that's a good lift for Jill. Well done, Hannah. That's 65 kgs. So this will be the third and final round. And there will be 57 kgs on the bar for our first lifter. And that's a good lift for Aoife. So the bar is now back up to 60 kgs for our second lifter. And that's a good lift for Alva, 60 kgs. Well done, Alva. So the bar is going to remain at 60 kgs for our third lifter. And that's a really nice lift by Niamh. Now the bar is going up to 65 kgs for our second last lifter, who is Gillian. And that's a good lift for Jill, at 65. Well done, Jill. So the bar is going up now to 70 kgs. For our final lifter, who will be Hannah. And that's a great lift to finish the session. 70 kgs from the floor to overhead in one movement. Well done, Hannah.
I'm Sharon McGee, I'm 42 and I'm from Sligo originally, but I've been in Dublin for the last 8 years.
Hi Sharon, how's it going?
Hey Phil.
Tell me, how did you get into weightlifting and what inspired you to take up that sport?
So I got into weightlifting through CrossFit. I started when I moved to Dublin about 8 years ago, and it was one of the aspects of CrossFit that kept me CrossFitting. And eventually I gave up the CrossFit and I've been weightlifting. I started with my weightlifting team in February and I've been weightlifting since July.
Okay.
So
you really love it then?
Love it, yeah.
Love
It really,
sport.
it's just whatever it is about weightlifting, it's just piqued my interest as soon as I picked up the bar.
Okay. Outside of weightlifting, what other sports are you involved in, or what other things do you do?
Well, I work full time. I'm a mum to 2 boys, but I don't do any other sports. This is my only sport.
Okay.
I've never been a sporty person. I got into CrossFit at a very late age. I got into weightlifting at an even later age.
Okay.
And
not as late as me. Anyway, go on.
We ought to start sometime.
It's never too late to
never
start.
Never too late. So yeah, but outside of that, I don't do any other sports.
Okay.
Like one of the young fellas did do a little bit of CrossFit and loved the weightlifting part of it as well. But as he got older, he kind of shied away from it a little bit. And like I wouldn't be one to push him into it, but he does see, like we have barbells at home, so he sees me weightlifting and weight training and things like that.
And just on a daily basis in your normal life at home, working at home and doing whatever normal housekeeping, do you think the weightlifting benefits you there?
Absolutely, it gets me out of the mundanity of work life and all that. It's you go into a world of your own, and it's something just completely different.
Yeah, because you have to be totally concentrating
you have to
on
be
what
totally
you're doing.
in that zone, and it's a powerful zone to be in.
Sure. Okay, and so tell me, what is your greatest achievements in the sport so far?
I'd have to say it was representing Ireland at Euros. Okay. We went to Poland in August, and like there can't be anything more amazing than representing your country.
Sure.
Long term, I want to be the female equivalent of Billy Cabell on the platform.
Doing a clear 80.
Absolutely, I want to be up there when I'm 80. Shorter term, I want to qualify for World Masters next year. So that would be good to get to go to that.
And in terms of the whole team spirit in weightlifting per se, do you think that's good in terms of the camaraderie and the friendships you make?
Oh, absolutely. So when I got into weightlifting first, it was kind of portrayed as this individual sport and you're training on your own and you're competing on your own and everything's on your own. But it's far from that. That's the only part of it that you do by yourself. So you have your team and your coaches and your teammates, and the banter and the crack does be great.
Yeah, and everybody cheers for you.
And everybody cheers for you. Yeah.
Which is
so
the thing that's
it's
nice.
thanks for all this.
Okay, well, listen, Sharon, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat to us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Phil.
My name is Tam Wayne. I'm 26 and I'm from Dublin, Ireland. With Olympic weightlifting, I joined the gym when I was 14 in just a commercial gym. So I was just copying people doing squats and deadlifts, and then I just kind of pursued from there. I think I hit a plateau, I think I was just squatting 80 and pulling 80. And then I joined a CrossFit gym, and then one of the coaches said that you should join Olympic weightlifting. And I was like, what is that?
What's the difference? Yeah.
What is that? And he says, look, we'll just enter you into a competition and you just do it. So the first competition I entered, I think I qualified for Junior Euros.
Wow.
So that's how I knew I was actually, okay, this is actually my sport. And it depends on what goals you have as well. For you to be strong, do you want to be strong coming into the gym because for your health? Do you want to be strong because you want to be an athlete to compete? Do you want to be strong because you want a six-pack? There's difference. Everyone's a bit delicate.
For me, do I want to be strong to lift up my grandchild? Which is,
exactly.
For an older person, that strength is just as important.
Yeah.
So what are you mentioned that you've had some achievements already at the Euros. So what are you aspiring to achieve then in the future? What's your big goal?
One of my big goals is to attend the Olympics with my little brother.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2024.
And what does your little brother do?
He does badminton.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's at that standard, obviously, for Olympic.
Yeah, he qualified. He attended in Tokyo, and my big goal was back then when I was a teen to go to Tokyo with him. But I started business and then my multi-business and had 2 kids, so I took a step back. And then when he went to the Olympics, that just gave me fire. So I says, that will happen next time.
Okay.
Okay, team, we're gonna do some stretching. So we're gonna sit down on the floor and we start with the straddle. Legs wide as you can, and then we go to one leg. Try to reach it with the 2 hands. Go as low as you can. I hope all of you are doing the stretches every single time, never skip it. Never. Okay, slowly go to the other side. Slow as you can. You can take a few deep breaths, and after a few deep breaths, you can try to go a little lower in position. Okay, and then go to the middle, stand up, and go as low as you can. Nearly there, Victoria. Come on, guys, keep trying. I can see that you need the stretching. It's long legs. Oh, okay. You can bend the legs. Let the feet down the floor, still right hand. Put your hand behind. That makes it easier. You can keep your hand in front, middle, and then you're going to push the knees down. You're going to keep the bum on the floor, and then go middle and make sure it's wide enough so you feel the hip stretching.
Surprised myself.
Thank goodness I didn't have to do that.
Nice and straight. The 2 hands are inside. Your chest up in the lunge position. Same again, chest up. Good, back straight, yeah. Better. And straighten the front leg. One more here, lunge again. Back is nice and straight, chest up. And leg in the front. Maybe step back with the right leg and the other leg in the front. And then chest up, hips down. That's it, smile. Okay, straighten the front leg. Move forward, chest up again. Straighten the front leg.
Yeah, my name's Victoria, I'm 27 and I'm from Dublin.
You're very welcome today, Victoria. I'd like to start off by asking you why you got involved or took up weightlifting. What inspired you to take up that sport?
Well, I started with CrossFit, as probably 98% of weightlifters do. And then my CrossFit coach at the time was a weightlifter.
Okay.
So he I always enjoyed the weightlifting aspect more. So after a little while, I started doing the weightlifting classes. And then I decided that weightlifting was much better than CrossFit, so I stuck with that full time. I just liked the progression in it. In CrossFit, you came in and you did a workout, but you couldn't really measure the progression as easily as you could with weightlifting. So I enjoyed seeing the kind of improvement each time, especially at the start. You get lots of improvements very quickly. So I enjoyed that. So I work in tech consulting, so that's quite busy. I also play a few other sports. I play cricket, bit of tennis and a bit of golf.
Okay.
And apart from that...
And would you say that taking up the weightlifting, has that benefited your other sports?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in cricket, I notice a big improvement in performance, just being stronger and being able to use the strength in other sports has been really helpful. I think for confidence, it's a big boost, and being able to show that women can do it just as well as anyone else can do it.
Sure.
And Claire for doing such a great job in organising this. Like I said earlier, it took months and months of planning and coordinating with athletes, with volunteers to put this all together, and they did an excellent job. So just a round of applause for Beata.
I'm trying not to say anything weird again, but thanks for coming, and I really enjoy seeing everyone chatting and having fun together, and I think that's the best thing in a sport, your friends is in the sport and we can enjoy our time together on a Sunday even during exercising. So thanks for coming, and the last thing will be the team picture, and that's going to happen in the back if I'm right. And I also want to say thank you for all the volunteers and everyone else who made this possible. So Mark's team and Anya and Luke, thanks for coming and make this all possible. Team picture, let's go.
Women in Sport Expo, what is it? It is an event for women to recognise strength. The aim is to make strong women visible, to inspire the next generation of strong women. Weightlifting is a sport for all, irrespective of gender, age, body type or size. It makes not just strong bodies, but strong minds. We want to share this message by making the sport